Welcome back, everyone, to a cast of players as we journey through the Chronicles of Valtor once again. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to you, and welcome back to the aftermath of their journey into the Atwiller House.
A lovely time.
You had a great time.
It's gone very well.
Everyone has had bits of their soul taken away. Acacia's nearly dead.
One star on ye olde Airbnb. Would not recommend.
Would not return. Breakfast was pleasant.
Attacked by chair.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Right, so you find yourselves in the grounds of the Atwiller House. You have currently got Jenna, the young girl, unconscious in your arms, Dorian. Acacia is currently unconscious over the shoulder of Gideon, who has a cat draping over him as well. As we would expect, Gregor is cradling Bertha.
Yep.
And also has Peter, the small child, hanging onto his side.
Yeah, I'm not
well.
cradling him. I'm cradling.
Yeah.
You can walk, boy.
And you feel the presence of the house almost lift a little bit, and the sounds and the reality of world around you has returned. Where you entered, it was surrounded by mist, and everything was muffled and just murky and distant. That is no longer the case. You are back here in the grounds of the upper echelons of society in the town of Trayston. The gate has peeled itself open. The sun is shining down on this day. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. What would you like to do? You currently have 2 small children and an unconscious companion.
Gregor, and whilst holding Peter, is going to make a beeline immediately for the gate to get onto the street and never look back ever again.
Yeah, I'll follow on.
Well, I follow with you.
As I get to the gate, you sort of hear him go, oh! There's a big crack in his back as his strength fades, and I'm afraid I've dropped you.
Brilliant.
He's not strong all the time.
Brilliant. Well, it's great. I can't do anything about that.
I dropped you
I'm
quite
unconscious.
gently. It's not. You didn't collapse. It's sort of like
So if I wake up in bruises,
There's no bruising. As I said, a gentle
gentle
descent.
A gentle drop.
Yeah.
cool.
Peter looks up at you, Gregor. Pulls on your coattails, effectively. How's Jenna? He's like looking over at you, but like doesn't want to say anything. Because if I remember rightly, you've not removed your mask yet.
No.
So he's just looking, he's like,
So the mask is neutral though at the moment. There is no grimace or anything else sinister. It's just neutral, which, to be fair, is pretty sinister because it's a mask. So I do remove the mask.
Okay.
And I smile at him, and I take a knee, and I show him his sister.
she's breathing. It's
Is some
shallow
colour
breath.
starting to come back into her?
A little bit, yeah. So from what you recall, because it all happened very quickly, the breath is coming back in deeper drafts now. It's not quite as shallow and shaky.
Yeah.
And the colour is very slowly beginning to come back, but she is still, for all intents and purposes, unconscious.
Yeah. I say, I look at him and I say, she'll be fine, lad. We're going to get her back home. And you too. Come on.
Okay. As you walk back through town, strange looks follow you, but wide berths are given from townsfolk and guard alike. You can see one young guardsman begin to move inquisitively in your direction, but his partner basically just don't. Wounded mercenaries are presumably commonplace in Trayston, given the nature of the job postings and how things seem to operate here. And the number of other groups present down at the docks this morning, which was a scant few hours ago, that this is just something that they're used to, although small children, perhaps not so much. Regardless, you make your way back into town, and with some tentative directions asked, you do have the location that Elle Fitzgerald, the children's mother, gave to you, about halfway down a long cobbled street off from the waterfront. Rows of small terraced houses with thick timber frames stand side by side, stark contrast to the large manors that you've just left from the waterfront. And as you make your way halfway down, Peter breaks out from your grip into a run towards one of the houses. Mummy! Mummy! As he races towards the front door, knocking on it frantically. It swings open. Elle looks down in shock, gasping at the sight of her son. She kneels down, pulls him in tightly, tears rolling down her face. She looks up as you approach. She's kissing Peter on the side. but her face drops the minute that she sees Jenna. No,
She'll be
no.
okay. She'll be okay. And I quickly bring her over, show that she's breathing.
Yeah.
I did actually cast a heal wounds on her, but that was when she was still
That was when
cursed, so
she
it didn't
was-
really do anything.
Correct.
I don't think I have any slots left.
I believe all of your resources are pretty much drained at this
I am.
point.
Yeah, I've used all
Including your health.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I assume someone picked me back up and I wasn't.
I'll come back to the pavement for you later.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I guess so.
It'll be fine.
I guess I did.
Come on now.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice little sleep.
She takes Jenna from you, pulls her in tightly, like, starts crying. Peter begins like, we didn't mean to. It doesn't matter what happened. All that matters is that you're home and you're safe. She looks up at the three of you, four of you. She composes herself for a moment, effectively in an effort to try and look some semblance of strength in front of her children. I'll have to ask if you could return tomorrow for the payment. I'll need to arrange the removal of funds from the bank, and
I put
I'll
my
need to
hand on
take
her shoulder.
Jenna to the.
We won't be returning. Keep your kids safe. And
Even
I
I'm
do
not a
turn
complete monster.
and look at you, and like it's a dead cold stare.
Yeah, my hands are up like, no.
What we will be doing is going back to that house. I'm sure there's something in there for us.
Are
Now
you
that we've
mad?
cleared the way.
The house that tried to kill us.
I've been called for far worse than that, so.
You want to return to the house that tried to kill us?
Well, you go back to the bar and I'll see you there then.
Okay, maybe.
She doesn't know quite what to say to this. Could you all make an insight check, please?
I assume I don't need to.
You cannot.
Ooh,
Oh, look at that.
20.
11.
Nat 20, well done.
21.
First roll back, baby. Woo!
She's not being clandestine or trying to hide anything, but the three of you do notice that she's not used to that level of altruism or kindness. You can kind of tell that she's probably been messed around quite a few times. So this little act of kindness is more than appreciated. Well, at the very least, maybe come back tomorrow and I can make you a meal or something. And, you know, and I'm sure you want to check on the children, and I can. I mean, I don't. What I do for work isn't exactly glamorous, but perhaps I can let some friends of friends know around town, and I can. You have to let me do something for you.
Do you have any wine?
Now?
Not necessarily now, but for this meal.
Yes.
I'm in. Sold.
It would be our pleasure to join you tomorrow, but don't make a big thing of it.
You'll probably have to be sharing a stool with Peter. Peter just like looks up at you, Gregor, at this point, and then like puts his eyes down to Bertha, and he's just like, I don't mind. And you can
Okay,
see, like, for the
well.
first time, he's got like a little bit of a smile on his face.
Was it the Arlanti mentioned?
The Atwiller.
Atweller, okay.
Arlanti was from season 1, if you're so interested.
There you go. There you go. I knew it was
Called
somewhere
back,
from
yeah,
this
to a
world.
distant past.
I relay to her where they've been.
When you mention the name
Yeah.
Atwiller, she goes sort of white as a sheet. She looks down at Peter. How many times have I told you, you stay away from those sorts of places? Peter regales to her. You know, we know that they had lots of money and nice things, and we wanted to get you a nice thing for
And
your
I look at you.
birthday,
It's like a
and
reinforcement of going back.
The cogs are whirring.
we wanted to get you something nice for your birthday. She smiles despite herself, but you can see she's still beyond terrified.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Peter, but it doesn't matter. You're never to go there again. Do you understand? I'm sorry, Mummy. I'm sorry. It's okay. She pulls him in for a hug, but still cradling Jenna. She's like, come, we must take Jenna to the town healer. Perhaps they'll be able to rouse her spirits.
If you're going up, perhaps we could stay here for a bit of a rest. Sort of acknowledging.
Can I go to the downhealer?
You're unconscious. Be quiet, please. Is there space for all of us?
Yeah, I mean, she raises an eyebrow somewhat inquisitively.
We could go to a tavern.
Given the insight check that you
frugal.
just did. So, for reference, because you have been here for a few days, I hadn't got to this bit yet. You're jumping ahead. You do actually have rooms in town that you
Don't worry,
have.
I've just remembered.
I've read the schemes of fate on the DM's notes. Also, from a in-character perspective, with your insight check, knowing that she's kind of been messed around a little bit, you can tell that there's almost this apprehension of effectively a group of 4 strangers asking, can we stay in your house for a bit? Like, she's invited you for a meal, but she's about to take her kids to be checked over at the town healer.
I'd argue I'm unconscious, I'm harmless.
All right, redacted.
Yeah, you do have a place in town that you have sort of got as a base of operations if you so choose.
Well, if they're going to the healer, may I suggest we go to our lodgings? We could take this one back for a rest, and I think we could all do with patching ourselves up just a smidge.
I think that's an excellent idea. I mean, those shades did something to me. I'm starting to question why I didn't pursue money from this household. But anyway, let's return to the tavern before I change my mind.
She bids you farewell, locks up the door, grabs her children, and heads off in the opposite direction to where you know your tavern is, because I'm not going to make you try and remember where your tavern is. So, like most major towns, there are a number of taverns and inns dotted throughout Trayston, offering respite for travellers and libations for its citizens. One such place is the Silver Sickle, a small inn tucked away from the main streets. It's not much to look at from the outside, nor indeed from the inside, but the fire is warm, the rooms are comfortable, and the food and drink are quite cheap. As you enter, you see that there is the sole-board barman looking up from his glass polishing. You know him as Gunther, a young man, no older than about 20, son of the landlady, who you've not met yet. He gives you a nod and a smile as you enter. The tavern is otherwise empty, which, given the time of day, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning, as well as market day happening. Occupancy you expect to be low, but you know that the sickle kind of picks up a little bit later in the evening. Gunther, as you enter, is polishing, looks up, nods, smiles. All right.
We need our rooms.
Morning.
I say, we need our rooms.
Good day.
Well, you know where they are. He looks you up and down. Do you want anything?
A drink, please, barman.
Yeah, understood. Yep.
I'm quite parched.
He begins to pour out. He begins to go to the tankard with ale and then goes, no. Goes to the bottle of wine, pours
Thank
out
you, Gunther.
wine. You into your rooms. The boarding is comfortable but simple, but this is kind of exactly all you need, and you are in an effort to be somewhat frugal, because starting out life as effectively a mercenary band can be quite tricky, given your first sets of payments need to go however long they may need to go. But unless there is anything that anyone specifically wants to do, you can decide to take a short rest, long rest, however much time you want or need. Acacia is unconscious for probably 2 hours at this point.
I'd like to regain consciousness.
Okay, well, if they lay you down in
vote.
bed, you don't have a choice. You'll wake up after 2 hours and then decide what you want to do.
Please don't just drop me
Drops
again.
you next to the bed.
Yeah.
Floor's good enough.
Man.
The rest of you, is there anything in particular that you would like to do, or would you like to do something specific when resting, whether it is a short rest or a long rest? Your choice.
Do you get spell slots back after a short or a long rest?
You need a long rest to restore your, basically, if you have a long rest, you restore everything.
Okay.
If you have a short rest, you restore certain abilities, so you would restore Bardic Inspiration on a short rest at higher levels.
Okay.
But for now, you will need a long rest.
Okay.
You can restore hit points on a short rest, but you need to use hit die.
The long rest is like 8 hours. Though.
It is 8 hours, yeah.
So it's early morning.
Yeah, so that would take you up to about, at that stage, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and then I'll
Go
be
back
up
to
all
the
night.
spooky house at night time. The ambiance.
Yeah, but then we'd be up all night. It's going to be like having mega jet lag. I'm
We're
not into that.
wandering warriors.
For a long rest.
We have a super long
I
rest.
could go and just
go
have
to the
fun
next
without you
day.
guys.
One
go for
thing
lovely
as
dinner.
well that I will remind you of, because again, it's been a while. When you picked up your job posting this morning, you did clandestinely retrieve a second one.
Yes, I did, and it was glorious.
It was a thing that happened, but effectively, the posting is saying to meet him today at the southern gate.
Yeah, so, right, Dorian, once we've
have
put
some choices.
Acacia down, is everyone in their rooms?
I don't think we've gone up yet.
You're kind of at the
I'm
bar
at
just
the
going,
bar, yeah.
All right, fine. Well, then Dorian says, listen, this is what I'm thinking. Maybe we go check out this other job, meet the fella at the gate, and put her down. Hopefully she'll recover soon.
Put me down.
Someone get Bertha. Oh, yes, all right.
The coup de grace.
the coup de grace with a blunderbuss.
Wow.
Messy.
Well,
And after we've spoken to this fella, maybe go back to the house.
I think that's probably a good idea, yes. This old man needs to shut his eyes just for a little bit, and then we'll be on our way to our next
Sounds reasonable.
job.
And I'm thinking maybe we'll find payment enough for the job we just did.
I'm in.
Okay.
I also just take the eye out of Bertha. It cools down. I put it back in my eye hole.
Is it sizzling?
Oh yeah, it's running hot. Put a bit of wine in to cool it down.
blow on it first.
Yeah.
So are you gonna take a couple of hours to wait for Acacia, or are you gonna leave Acacia
Yeah.
here?
No. We'll have a short rest.
Yeah.
A little nap. Hang on.
Here.
Yeah, so you can all take, so you can take the benefits of a short rest. So none of your class abilities will restore, no spell slots, no rages, nothing like that. But you can spend hit die to restore hit points if you so desire, depending on how many hit points you've got. If they're waiting for 2 hours, you will wake up with 1 hit point. I will allow you to spend a hit die during that process, because you immediately wake up and go, oh no,
All the demons.
everything hurts.
I'm going to spend all 3 of my hit die.
Sure, you will recover half of them on a long rest.
Half of what I
Rounding
rolled?
up. Yeah.
Okay.
No. So you have 3 hit die. So
Okay.
you can spend 1, 2, 3 hit die. You'll recover 2 on a long rest.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. So do I still roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Can I do that as well?
Yep, go for it. You can spend as many hit die as you want. You can roll 1, see how many you recover. Roll another, see how many.
Does the short resting also retrieve our stats that were sapped by our shadows?
No.
Oh
Need
no.
a little bit more time for that. One could say you need a bit longer.
Like a long rest?
Maybe.
Wink, wink.
I'm gonna do all of mine.
Go for it.
So that's 2 because it's a short rest.
During a short rest, you can spend as many hit die as you want. You will recover. So it's your hit die, which is a D8 for you, plus your con modifier.
Yeah.
And then you will restore 2 of them on a long rest.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
You spent
lovely.
3.
I spent
Restored
3.
9
So you
hit
get another
points.
3.
I also like the idea of wine topping up my HP.
Yeah, so a short rest and spending hit die is meant to represent you using very minor medicinal salves, binding wounds, sort of battlefield surgery, anesthesia,
Nice. Yeah.
stuff like that. So, Acacia, you have basically 2 hours pass, nothing really happens. The tavern still remains quiet. Even lunch, there isn't like a lunch rush. Like barely anyone seems to enter into the Silver Sickle. Acacia, you wake up in your room, effectively just going, ow, everything is pain.
Everything hurts. I would also tentatively just put a hand on a dagger and look around at all the shadows in the room. Because the last thing I remember is being murdered by my own shadow.
Yeah, that's pretty much
So
right.
I don't trust anything right now. All of my friends are gone, everything hurts, and I'm in a completely different location.
You recognize the location. You do
Yes, but
recognize
I'm
it as
in a
room.
different location. It's very confusing.
And as you lie up in bed, reach for a dagger, you feel a sharp pain dig into your legs. Welcome back.
Right? Am I all right?
Hurts, doesn't it?
What happened?
That's called adventuring, my love.
I nearly died.
Yeah.
You didn't warn me it would be like
I
this.
didn't warn you that being stabbed would be painful. I'm pretty sure. No, you're right. I didn't. But I mean, you're a smart girl. I thought you'd put 2 and 2 together.
Okay,
Listen.
I will concede that.
You seem all right now. She starts purring at this point, and it's
The
it's
healing power of purrs.
It's a very strange. You've noticed this over time, but it's a very strange situation that you find yourself in with Arcturia, because there is the physical act of her meowing and purring simultaneously having a conversation with you in your head, and it's even now a bit disconcerting.
Yeah, it causes a little bit of the old headache. I'm very confused most of the time.
Well, look, the others haven't abandoned you yet, so you're clearly doing something right. They brought you up here, tucked you in.
I mean, I guess I can't.
No one like stayed here to look after you though. No one just check if you've got a fever or if you suddenly rolled over and choked on your own tongue. I mean, you want to talk about a way to go? At least in the annals of history, I could be like, listen, look, right, okay,
enough.
let me tell you about my
please.
friend Acacia. Okay, and she just goes off on this little story, and she eventually finishes her little reel. Okay, and then that's how she died, choking on her own tongue, not to shadow demons.
Look,
Disappointing.
at least they didn't leave me there, I guess.
Aren't you thankful for small mercies?
Yeah. Where is everyone?
Well,
Where is everyone?
around this time, I would have emerged and knocked on your door.
Yeah, you've heard her talking to herself.
Yeah, so I hear some, which was not the first time Dorian's heard muttering.
It's not. You know that she can communicate with Arcturia.
Yeah. I knock on the door.
Who is it?
Dorian, you're talking to your cat again.
Yes,
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm a bit. What happened?
Well, do you want to open the door or?
Come in. Oh, wait, maybe. Where is everyone else?
I was just going to go and get them, but they might be down in the bar.
Yes.
Are you propping up the bar?
Oh, absolutely.
What is Gideon doing?
Yeah, he's probably down there as well.
Yeah, at the bar.
Imagine this is very much the pose.
You're just pouring pulling out like little bits of mushroom, putting it in your
The hot beverage.
hot mushroom tea.
Oh, that sounds really pleasant.
It is.
I have one of those in my way.
You mustn't mix grape and shroom, my boy.
Very well. Sounds like sage advice.
Okay, so you have reconvened. You've healed up. Fantasmique. You're gonna regale to Acacia what's just happened.
Yeah.
Very good. So you have a plan in mind to head to the southern gate. Is this correct, or was there something else that you wanted to do before going to the next job?
Well, I've suggested that that's what certainly Dorian's going to do now, because he wants to follow up on this second job. And then, we will be going back to the house afterwards to mention.
Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
With this? Okay, very good. So you head down. So to the southern gate, you arrive and you see that the road leading out of the gatehouse into the plains of South Nemos, and there are a group of guardsmen sat by this gatehouse. 3 of them playing dice on top of a crate by its side. Another 2 are in a heated conversation with an old man, Donkey, standing by his side. You can see him just prodding this guardsman in the chest. And as you approach, you begin to overhear the conversation. Now you listen here, Gabos. I've been around a lot longer than you, so you ought to show me some respect. Been taking notes, I have, watching the skies, because you lot are too busy with your waistlines getting wider and your coin purses getting a little bit heavier, I've noticed, round these parts, right? Yeah, I see you lot over there. I see you there, roisting your dough. I'd be ashamed of yous. He looks over towards the crate where they're playing dice. The guardsmen aren't even looking up at this point. You rolling in his grave. And you, Gavos, you, right? You sully the name of the god. You do not even helping us folk out because Mayor Steen says not to. You bet I'll be having words with him whenever he gives me an audience, right? But he's too busy playing politics and getting his grubby little mitts on our tax money. Mark my words, the friend of Trastum, he looks out for us. Lot better than you lot does. Why do you think I'm going to him over you lot? Useless sacks of troll dung. At this, you can see the guardsman just You can see him balling his fists a little bit. Speaking of, when are you going to go on that beast, right? May as well go out looking for it. Then you could get eaten. And then someone else will come along and actually do your jobs a lot better than you can. Again, keeps prodding him at this point. You can see this lead guardsman, Gavos, just... Listen, Denton, you're old. You saw what you think you saw, but it's all right. Mind will play tricks on you in your old age. But we're not going to let you go out there and get yourself killed, all right? Pokes him again. Damn right I'm old. Sharper than you lot ever been. Only things nearly as sharp as you would be the swords around your waist, but they're dull as anything.
You think this is the fella? I read the job posting again.
So the job posting, obviously, doesn't have an accent, but you can understand. You read it now in the accent. Damn, college don't believe me, but I know what I saw. We need to gather a whole crew and hunt this blasted dragon down. Gets larger and hungrier. First it'll come for the sheep, then it'll come for the cows, and then your children and the old town. Bring everyone you can to the southern gate and we'll kill the beast before it's too late. And you read it and just go, oh no.
2 tickets to the Wurzels attached to the bottom.
I hand the job posting to you. Will you go and talk to that old fella? And Dorian, you don't know whether to be insulted or not, but Dorian just gives you a little wink.
Why are you giving it to me?
I can't talk to that fella, I'm sorry.
Why not?
Not for me.
But why for me?
Come on. Dorian, just, come on.
One of us needs to get it done.
Pulls the trousers up.
Snatches it out. My goodness. My goodness. And just walks off, very upset.
Dorian laughs.
Do you think that was a little harsh?
As you approach, you hear the guardsman saying to this old man, go home, Denton. Look, it's a good thing there is no dragon, because if you can't get past me with my dull blade and my expanding belly, then what chance have you got against a dragon? Looks up at you. Right, I've got actual stuff to do, Denton. Can I help you, sir?
Hello. I've come about this job. And I believe it might have something to do with this chap over here. Would I be correct in assuming so?
Dorian looks at you too. There is something very comical about it.
I just have,
Starts coming. Well done, Denton. You've got another old fool to go on a silly little adventure with you.
Quite rude.
Listen.
Is this your job or is it him? Is this for you? From you? Who am I to be speaking to about this? Is this your advertisement or shall I speak to this chap?
Oh, you're both gonna get yourself killed. And he just turns around and goes over to the group playing dice. Denton looks up at you. Blimey, you don't look like a dragon hunter.
What is going on this morning?
Right, look,
respect
you're the one who's
anymore.
got my job posting. Right, I mean, look.
Why are you so upset? What's the matter here?
Listen here.
Hello.
Listen, right, he holds that hand. Denton Mowell is my name.
My name's Gideon Kell. Love to make your acquaintance.
Do you go to shake his hand?
Yes.
Yeah, he very enthusiastically. So, and this here slaps the butt of the donkey. This here is Glenda. Right?
My goodness.
Now listen, right, I'm going to tell you a story, old man.
Oh.
Right, I was on my way from Tauron, I was. Now you have not just come from Tauron, but you passed through Tauron to receive payment on your way up to Trastum. Well, the outskirts of it I was. Me and Glenda here, I was coming into Mortem. I took a bit of a turn, you see. I was foraging for some steel stem. you've heard of steel stem. It's a very tough root, but it's Glinda's favourite snack it is. And, you know, she deserves it. She's come up so far in her age. So I tied her up. I went delving into the Ochred forest for some. It's where they grow, but, you know, quite deep inside, see? But I must have got turned about, because before I knew it, I found myself deep in the forest. All of a sudden, the sun's setting. It's bad news to be in the woods at night, I tell you, right? But I knew that I wouldn't get back in time. So apologies, everyone. Glinda's a hardy gal, though, so, you know, she's...
I'm not surprised she's eating silver stem, my goodness.
I know, right? So, but she's...
Absolutely thriving she is.
She's a tough old gal,
Oh,
right?
yes, I can
She was
see.
tied up good and proper, and then, you know, she's still got a mean kick, does Glenda, so I know she'd be all right. But I've been around, I know how to look after myself. But, you know, I'm a bit old, I'm not what I'm used to be, I'm sure you understand. So when I heard the owls, right?
He just looks behind at the group.
Yeah, Dorian's listening to all of it, and he's gritting at you. He's just
I'm
gritting.
just mouthing, does he have any money?
I knew that I had to hole up somewhere for the night, so I came across a stream, right? Followed it into this cave mouth. But these wolves, they followed me, they did. Sneakier than I thought. So they followed me into their cave mouth, they did. And to make matters worse, I tripped over on some undergrowth. I'm thinking, blimey, it's the worst possible timing, that. So there I am, I'm caught up, my legs all twisted and knackered. It wasn't even good in the first place. So anyway, I was praying. I was like, Grey Lady, please. Look, if you're going to embrace me, at least make it quick, love. I crawled deeper into the cave, away from these wolves. It weren't the Grey Lady who answered, though, was it?
Who was it?
Well, a big old snarl came up from deep in the cave, rattled me to my bones. Well, suddenly me and the wolves were the same. Cowering we was. They began to bolt, running off in the woods. I was frozen, I was still tangled up, thinking a lady was coming to take my hand after all. Looks around. I ain't too embarrassed to say, but I suddenly acquired a new pair of brown pants that moment. But then nothing. I waited, longest minute of my life. Here's this thing's roaring array. Could see it, fire blasting from down the end of the cave, round the corner. I froze. I was waiting to get gobbled up. Nothing. And look, I'm not a fool. If fate's smiling at me, I ain't gonna kick her in the teeth. So I bucked out and ran for it. Someone must have been looking out for me that day though, because I always got back to the roads. Somehow, farther down than I'd like, but anyway, I got up, I found Glenda, I unhooked her. We went straight to Morton, I did. She weren't happy, I promised her steel stem.
Well, yes, understandable.
Anyway, I got there, I rested up, I asked around about this dragon. Had anyone heard of it? Anyone seen it? No one. Not one of them believed me. So I came up here, told the guards, no one believed me. So that's when I put the post up, I knew the friend would. And then you have answered it. You and your fine looking crew there, these your kids?
Again, just wave.
I stepped forward, put my hand out to shake his. Dorian's the name.
Oh, no, nice. So Dorian, did I get your surname?
It's not Dorian Kell, no.
Dorian Cal, nice to meet you, son. Nice
Absolute
to meet
pleasure.
you.
Yeah.
To your family of dragons.
Yeah, my dad here has been looking after me all my life. Isn't that right, Dad? I'll give you a thumb up your shoulder. So, how do you plan on paying us then, fella?
Well, I mean, you know, dragons have hordes, don't they?
Oh, your payment's coming from the dragon, is it? Okay. Dorian's literally laughing. This is quite the adventure, isn't it?
Now, listen, this dragon you speak of, you said you fell and you saw it from a distance in the cave, yes?
He was right at the end of the cave, he was.
You actually
big-
said you only saw fire, is what
Well,
you
yeah,
said. You saw.
I mean, what else?
didn't
What
actually
kind
see a
of
dragon,
what
did
other
you?
kind of things would be coming out? Growls, rattling me to my bones, fire.
Well, I'm not sure if the growl was from your bowels or from a natural dragon, but you
know
certainly
what-
heard something.
Excuse me, young man. I've been around more summers than you have. I know what my bowels sound like. Thank you very much.
You do have a new pair of brown pants, though, don't you?
Well, not anymore, obviously. Listen, right? Are you lot being serious?
Of course we are serious. I'm Gregor Martwick, explorer extraordinaire and masterful mercenary, and this is my crew, Gregor's mighty warriors. Let me get the particulars. There's a beast in a cave, you want us to kill it, and you will pay us money for doing so.
No, he won't pay us money because he doesn't have any. But
Yes, he
we could take
will.
the money from the cave.
Exactly.
Did you see any of the money in the cave? You didn't necessarily see the dragon. How did you see its magnificent pile of treasure?
Because that's what dragons have. They've got hoards.
If
Hoards
it
of treasure.
was a dragon.
It was a dragon.
I do have one question. You fell. Is your head okay?
How dare you, young lady. I fell on my arse, not on my head.
Well, could be mistaken.
We can go and check it out, but we won't be able to go until tomorrow.
Listen, we're becoming some kind of charity organisation. We can't just go on promises of payment again.
Well, this was less than a day away.
Yeah, Mortem's maybe half a day's ride down.
We don't have any horses though.
Well, I mean, I walked with Glenda, so and I'm rockety old man. So between the three of you and your dad, it'll probably take me same amount of time. And, I can show you the way, like back into the forest, so you don't get too lost in there.
What if it is a dragon? I don't know how well equipped we are to deal with a dragon this morning.
I mean, I would prefer that an entire army went, but I mean, if you lot are the best that Tristan's got to offer, then one, I feel sorry for Tristan in the first place, but
Tomorrow's the day that we should go. We won't be going today.
Now listen here, Sonny Jim. That dragon could be ready to be busting out and eating everything around the area in just moments. Moments, I tell
Listen
you.
here, oldie Jim. We'll go tomorrow.
It's gentle now, I'll have you know.
If the dragon attacks, we'll be prepared to fight it if it comes to town.
And if it does, you'll get your army, because they'll be here.
Yeah,
You
and it
surely
won't be-
have some money. Where to buy your hideous donkey? I mean, beautiful steed.
Glenda.
Glenda, Glenda, yes.
I mean, look, I know she ain't much to look at, but she's been with me through thick and thin, she has.
She seems like a mighty beast. You must have paid a pretty penny in the day.
Yep, back in day. I mean,
Surely you must have some riches you might be able to
Well,
persuade
I
us
mean,
to go
I
to the
brought a
woods.
little bit of coin with me so when I was coming to town anyway, so that I could, feed and water myself and hook Glenda up for the night in stables. But, I mean, I don't have anything too much on me.
How much do you want us to look into this dragon?
Well, I mean, you should do it out of the goodness of your hearts for the first place. but
That's not how Gregor's mighty warriors works, my good man. If you want the best, you pay for it. These guys, pointing at the guardsmen, maybe a little bit too loudly, aren't going to do anything, are they? You've established this.
Yeah, they're too busy playing dice.
So come, if you want the best in the business to go out there looking and slaying dragons, surely you must have something to sweeten the deal from our end.
You don't think a horde of dragons and doing it and saving, like town and village wouldn't be worth it?
I have a question for you. When you were in the cave and you fell on your self, you spoke of finding Silverstem before, so you know your way around the lands. Did you see anything in the cave that might be of interest?
You can see he's a bit hesitant at this point. Don't matter, you lot won't believe me anyway.
Come along. Well, you were trying to convince us of a dragon, so...
Well, I know exactly, you don't believe me about that. So
we
why,
never said we didn't believe
why
you.
would you believe me about a talking statue?
My
Oh.
goodness.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Dorian stops.
Go on. Tell us a bit more about this talking statue of yours.
He looks over at the guardsman and sort of beckons you to come in. Right, so basically... So, when I fell over, trapped in this undergrowth, it was dark. I couldn't see anything.
Until the fire came, then you can probably see.
Well, then I could see stuff.
Well, marvellous.
And there was this statue lying down on the floor next to me.
Oh.
And you could see, when someone's trying to talk, but they can't. Well, I mean, he couldn't. He didn't have a mouth. But he was making faces like he could talk.
The statue?
The statue, I mean, I didn't know what he was saying. He couldn't find his mouth. But he was there, just broken on the side.
Okay.
That sounds like some magic guardian ship that some dragon would put in to warn people off. Like, don't come in here. That's probably what he was saying. Don't come in here. There's a dragon.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
He's lost
Dorian's
his tongue.
nodding to Acacia.
This is riddles. I tell you what, how about an insurance policy? If we don't find a dragon's hoard, we take your donkey and sell it.
Dorian looks at you.
Would we need to sell Glenda? She'd be great for transport.
You probably
honest-
couldn't sell that. You couldn't sell that hag even. If you
Exactly. You wouldn't want to sell it.
I say it under my breath so he doesn't hear. Listen,
Yeah, he doesn't hear you.
Gahadril,
Okay, yes, we'll do it.
The big beaming, basically toothless smile at this point. It's like, wonderful! Oh, that warms the cockles of my heart, that does.
We're going tomorrow, though.
Could you all make a persuasion check for me, please? Because you've mentioned that a number of times.
Oh. I rolled a 1.
Good. Good start.
To be fair, I've kind of insulted him.
14.
Okay.
11. A 4. Can I try and convince him with something else?
Don't.
Is
don't
it
get your
Bertha?
gun out.
He's like, yeah, I know, but like, listen, if we don't go today, right, think of it this way. We don't go today and that dragon comes out and starts eating all the villagers, on your head be it!
There's been no reports of the dragon coming out, and it's not.
I'm the reporter of the dragon!
Listen, here we are. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stab him. Because I made that delightful mushroom tea this morning. Very calming.
Right.
I'm going to get it from my pouch and offer him. So listen, you had a very busy morning with the guards. All this nonsense with the dragon. You seem very stressed. Have a little swig of this, it'll calm you right down, and then you'll understand that going tomorrow is the best course of action because we need to get supplies, we need to ready ourselves, both mentally and physically, for the quest at hand. And he gives him the thing.
He takes the tea. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, what's in that?
Oh well, it's a surprise.
It sort of leads back a little
It's
bit.
delicious. It tastes wonderful. Hang on, let me think. Ruby cap and plum timber.
Not sure if I've heard of plum timber, but ruby cap's quite nice.
And asparagus. It's good for people
Right,
of our age,
right,
if you
right,
understand
right,
my meaning.
Takes a sip, it's like, I mean, it wouldn't be exactly what my first choice of drink would be.
Oh, but just let it just wash over you for a moment, and just feel little tinglies on the tips of your fingers, and just take a nice big deep breath, and it'll help you to relax.
Right. I'm not sure if I can feel relaxed.
Have you
whilst-
fallen asleep, Stan?
Not sure if I can feel relaxed with dragon roaming about, but I mean, I suppose
It helps, you know.
he looks you all up and down at this point because you've had a short rest, but you're still looking a bit not so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you lot have done a fair bit of travelling at this point. You've seen worse for wear by the looks of it, but I mean, you're standing, I suppose. And I for one, I do understand about getting supplies and things like that, but usually when a job posting goes up, the friend guarantees that it happens within, the day.
But we'd like to guarantee payment, but we don't have any of that, do we?
Well,
So-
also, there is no guarantee of payment with the job postings. That's just how, friend of Tracedon works.
Well, there's no guarantee of anything in this life, is there?
Right,
Really?
as long as you promise me that you will be here first thing in the morning,
We'll be here for
9 o'clock sharp, because we've got to rest a wee bit. It takes me a while to get up, and I'm up and down throughout the night anyway.
Bless you.
But we'll meet here. We'll go down there. I'll lead you in. We'll find the dragon. We'll kill the beast, and then the hoard is yours.
Marvelous.
Right.
And if not,
Tomorrow
we
it
get
is.
your donkey.
He looks over at Glenda. Sorry, old girl, I know you've been collateral once before, but you've got to take one for the team. Slaps her on the behind. Glenda agrees.
Marvelous.
Yeah. You notice that Glenda looks over at him at this point.
I would treat that donkey well. Look
So-
after it.
Right then, well, I mean, if we're not going to head out until morning, I'm going to head myself into town and get myself something to eat. I'm getting hungry. He looks up at the sun, sort of holds his hand up into the sky. Yeah, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm well overdue now. It's about 2. I'm overdue on some lunch, I am. So, I'm going to go get that. Maybe I'll have myself an early dinner, a bit of supper. Have you lot got any plan? Maybe we can plan out our attack, you see.
No, don't worry. We've got other things to attend to this afternoon, my good man.
I understand. You dragon hunters have got to buy all the right gear and make sure, because you certainly could probably do with the right gear. But, you know, I'm putting my faith and my trust in you lot. I'm very intrigued to see what the Kel Dragon Hunters are capable of doing.
That's a very, yes, it's a good name, isn't it?
I mean, it seems like...
I believe you misheard me.
The House of Kel. Yes.
You're
The Warriors of Kel.
Dorian just shakes his head, looking at Acacia.
The Blades of Kel.
he looks over at you as you're doing it. He's like looks over at the three of you. He's like, we've all been there. Don't worry. This all happens in our old age. You know, we go off on these little tangents. You know, but you make sure you look after your da, and you know he'll look after you. He looks up at you like as if he's done you a really good favour at this point.
Goodbye,
Hey,
Denton.
Right.
Dorian starts walking off.
I'll see you all in the morning.
Yes.
They're okay. All right,
Okay.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
And he's like, come on, Glinda, let's go. And they wander off very slowly into town.
I'm not sure what to think about all of this.
Well, the statue was interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, the statue is very interesting. What if,
And a growl could have been stone moving. I mean, we know the Cahadral have traps in their places.
the fire?
Yeah.
Another trap, perhaps? What do you think? You should know about this sort of thing.
I was going to say I will look through my father's journals this evening as we're resting and preparing and see if I can find any information.
Fire traps.
Did they have
could
lots
well
of
be.
money?
Well,
They have
yes,
artifacts.
there are artifacts, relics. Isn't that your business, your trade, anyway?
It is indeed.
Certainly not trading mules or donkeys or...
Let's face it, that donkey was an artifact.
Dorian does laugh at that.
Donkeys are very good at transporting items.
I don't...
We've heard of a pack mule?
Could the four of you make a perception check, please?
Oh.
it's always that, oh.
10?
14.
10.
Oh.
Gideon, you hear laughter from the guardsmen behind you, and you sort of look over your shoulder, like clandestinely, and you can see them looking in your direction, like just chuckling away at themselves.
Can I help you at all, young man?
Just taking a bet, old timer.
Oh. What are you betting on?
Well,
I enjoy placing bets.
There's a slight sigh. I'm glad I'm Dorian and not Anrakai, because someone probably would have been killed already. I mean, did you want to take part in a gamble over there, sir?
What's your game?
Well, the game is called Dragon's Dice, and they all start laughing. Like, you know that's not a game.
It's not a game.
No, you're right. And going out hunting for Denton Mao's dragons isn't a game either. I just, all right, look, we were gambling on whether you lot would take the job. And you're clearly desperate for the money, but we didn't think you were that desperate. This, you can see that they're a bit perturbed at having been confronted. They're not used to people perhaps questioning the guard's authority, even in Traceston. Look, all we're saying, sir, is that you might be ending up on a wild goose chase. That's probably what you're more likely to find than dragons and treasure. Is that what he's promised you?
Well, you might have mentioned something like that. I mean, it's piqued our interest somewhat, I suppose. Is he a bit notorious in these parts?
Denton's been around for quite some time, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, sir. Yeah. He's always had little flights of fancy, he has. Always said that there was something in the forest.
Has anyone ever looked?
Well, this is what one person saying there's something in the forest?
Half a day's work.
Clearly, he's quite frustrating for you.
Listen, all we're saying is that, a couple of years ago it was a manticore. A couple of years before that it was a banshee. None of these have turned up.
But no one's ever gone and looked in the forest, where he said, I mean.
Well, we tend to work on, the basis of evidence and sight. If there was a manticore going around,
How
people
about
would have noticed their livestock going missing.
Maybe we can help each other. He clearly is frustrating you greatly and a thorn in your side. Perhaps if we go out there into the woods with him and show him there's nothing out there, he would get off your backs and leave you alone. Surely that's worth a stipend or two?
Yes.
Could you make a persuasion check?
A nat 20!
Critical persuasion! Critical persuasion!
Pull my eye patch away.
At this point, you can see the guardsman. He gets a hand on his shoulder from Gavos, the one that was talking to Denton in the first place. Sit down. You make an interesting proposition there.
Gregor Martwick, Master of Mercenaries and Explorers Extraordinaire.
Well, it's just, we don't normally tend to have dealings with people that are working for the Friend.
You don't need to say anything about this to anyone other than your fine gentlemanly selves.
I think this could be mutually beneficial. People like him making you lot look bad.
I mean, he doesn't really make us look bad, so much as we just got to spend a bit of time, shooing him away.
You're fine, guardsman. You don't need any of this pain in your side. We can go out in the woods, sort the problem for you, and he never need bother you again.
More time to play dice, which is good for everyone.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to come across as fat and lazy, would you?
And I mean, if there's nothing there, he did promise us his donkey, so at least his travel wouldn't be as...
It'll be much slower on the return trip.
And he might get eaten by a dragon.
Two problems
Never
solved in
know.
one.
I mean, chance would be a fine thing, but quite frankly, if he's getting eaten by a dragon, you lot are stuffed. So, listen, right? I'm not sure exactly how that benefits our arrangement that we've got going on, because quite frankly, if anyone were to find out that we had dealings with people that apparently are working with the Friend, so Denton says, I mean, clearly you must be, you've got one of his notices. That wouldn't be looked too kindly upon by Mayor Steen.
What if you considered it a bet?
Could you make a persuasion check, please?
Me?
Yeah.
I should just stop talking.
Is that one?
Yeah.
Look,
Wow.
Do you want to try?
no one believes him anyway, so even if he said anything about any of this, no one's going to believe him. So why don't we just go deal with him, and then you don't have to worry about him ever again.
What do you mean by deal with him so that no one has to...
I don't mean I'm going to kill him.
Put his mind at ease.
Just make sure he feels
We're not going
comfortable.
to kill him.
His mind won't ever be at ease, but let's just say, in this hypothetical situation, that someone were to perhaps escort Denton to where he believes he saw this dragon and nothing was there. What would this fine, upstanding member of the community require for such a task, I wonder?
50 stipends.
Well, unfortunately, this fine, upstanding member of the community doesn't seem to be quite aware of how much a guard gets paid. A lot of our money is tied up in pension and overheads.
Are very persuasive.
Be that as it may, if
For
that's
yourself.
what you wanted was, a stipend, then, you are generally better off just not picking up random jobs on the board from the Friend. But perhaps these fine members of the community could find themselves accessing some things that perhaps they wouldn't have gotten access to otherwise. Confiscations of illicit dealing, shall we say. A lot of it does go on. You mercenary lots come through here and you bring a lot of trouble to the good old town of Tristram.
Got me intrigued.
Look, you get rid of him and we can make sure that it's worth your while.
I'd want at least something now. I'm a professional. I'm not just some layabout.
Well, I mean, the friendship of the guard would be good enough, I'm sure.
I've got friends in high places.
Oh, do you?
Yes, indeed.
Name one.
Colin.
No Colin here, I'm afraid. Certainly not up in high places. Listen, you get him out my hair for good, I can sort you out.
We're going anyway, we may as well do.
I know, I just want more money from him. Look, it seems like a fair deal. We'll investigate some lost property on our return, and you never have to worry about this mad pot anyway.
It would be very good for some of those items that have been lost to return to their rightful owners.
Exactly, yes. Oh, yes.
All right, yeah.
You got yourself a deal.
Yeah, he holds out a
Splendid.
hand, shakes it. at this point, you have arranged to meet up with Denton in the morning. Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there anything that anyone would like to do for the day? You're a bit weakened, but it's at this point it is, because you've taken some time to rest, it is almost like you've been out and you've been up all night. You are absolutely knackered, but you're not like running on, second wind or fumes, but you're just like, I could do with just not. But you are capable of doing stuff if there is anything that anyone wanted
Going
to
to the
do.
mansion.
Yes.
I don't think you
Bertha
seem
an
to
MOT.
understand.
Are you going back to the
We
manor?
need to go back
Correct.
to the manor.
Okay.
Come on.
Are you all in
let's go.
agreement with this?
Are we having a discussion about this, or are you two just wandering off?
No,
towards them?
Dorian just starts.
I would
He's already
just
said
follow
that.
you.
That's what he's doing. Yeah, I'm going to the mansion.
Okay. You return to the waterfront where the manor houses stand.
Why are we going to the manor house?
As you've approached, there is this air of certainly less oppressiveness to it at this point. You two were the ones that noticed the tree pathway previously. It has pulled back ever so slightly, almost as if nature is righting itself once again.
How does it feel when we're back there compared to how we were there before? How does it feel?
Well, you don't get a chill down your spine anymore.
Well,
Nice. Pleasant.
A good sign. I mean, it's still downtrodden, dilapidated, Anywhere else, it probably would have been demolished by now, but it doesn't feel like, man, there's bad in there. As mentioned, I presume you three regaled Acacia with what you saw when you
Yeah,
left?
yeah.
During your explanation of what happened. Well, your shadow came up alive.
Someone threw an axe, a mirror shattered.
Stuff exploded. So yeah, you were right. It doesn't feel the same as before. It feels there is an air of peace about it, at least compared to previously.
Gideon, you get a good sense of these things. How do you feel now we're back here? I want to burn the whole place down, if I'm completely honest.
no. You must feel it as well. The evil has left this place. It feels calmer now.
Has it?
Yes.
I was attacked by a chair.
Well,
a chair!
The curse is broken for sure.
It doesn't feel like the same place.
We've got to bury the lady as well.
Well, just to be
leave our bones
safe,
up there.
I pull.
And we haven't really searched the place. The place was, well, throwing up rooms where you wouldn't expect it.
Well,
Let's
so
have a
be it.
proper look around.
We need to give her a proper burial. That's exactly the sort of reason these sorts of places turn. So we need to make things right.
And she did protect the little boy.
Exactly.
I think this did more protecting than any of them did. Anyway, right, I'm with you. Off we go.
You enter the house. There's no
Flying death chairs.
There's no death chairs. There's no mist when you look outside. The front door doesn't disappear when you enter. You don't see Dorian walking up the stairs and then actually he's not there. No. It is just an abandoned house.
I immediately walk into the dining room, boot the door open to shoot all the furniture.
Is there anything in particular that anyone would like to do? Explore? There's a couple of rooms that you didn't go into on the second floor, as well as there being things to do with varying bodies.
Yeah, I'd like to try and explore the rooms that we haven't to see if I can just find out more information about the mirror.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you could all make a investigation check for me, please. Just to represent you going through and searching different things.
23.
Oh, what check, sorry?
You have been...
An investigation. 9.
Okay.
12.
12.
20.
Okay. Throughout the house, you all find varying things. So, Gregor, you go to the master bedroom. Because you remember seeing jewelry boxes and things like that. You find a grand total of, by your very rough estimation, 618 gold pieces of jewelry and gemstones.
Oh! That's a top pocket find, that is.
Hey!
It's
You share that cash.
You've not investigated the stuff. In my pockets it goes.
Acacia, did you want to explore for information first or anything else first?
Information.
Information first. Okay, very good. I suppose this makes sense from a narrative point of view. You would have made a beeline straight for the bedroom because you remember seeing jewelry boxes. The three of you probably would explore other areas of the house. And throughout, you find servants' quarters, abandoned clothes, nothing really of note. However, there's one room you didn't explore in depth. And as you enter, you see that there are green curtains closed over the back windows, rows of bookcases lining the left corner, and the whole left-hand wall has a rolling ladder attached for these books. There's a finely detailed mahogany desk that takes up the middle of the room with a high-back chair facing away towards those closed windows. A set of swords hang between the windows. There's a small chandelier in the center, fireplace to one side, dumbwaiter next to the door. It's an office. And based on what you've rolled, you can see that in the fireplace, the logs are rotten, the embers now mingled with dust in their age. But you specifically, Gideon, can make out a tattered piece of parchment paper nestled amongst the blackened ash, curled up, crisp, half burnt, having escaped the fire's wrath many years ago. Dorian and Acacia, you've approached the desk, and you can see upon it there is stacks of books and whatnot. And as you're looking through drawers, you can see that on the left-hand side there is a larger drawer than the others, but it has a smaller interior than the front panel of the drawer itself. And around the base of this, not the floor of just the base of the drawer, there's a number of small etchings, runic symbols.
Can I read them?
Make an Arcana check, please.
Ooh. 15.
Yeah, these contain magic, but the magic has now faded.
Okay.
What does my parchment piece say?
Do you want to try and pick it up?
Yes.
Could you make a sleight of hand check for me, please?
12.
Convenient.
I'm dead.
Fireplace eats you.
Very delicately pick it up. It is on the verge of crumbling to dust, given its age and things. But you managed to get it out. You can see written upon it faded red ink in straight lines, almost a table of sorts. Black handwriting in one of the rows. It's a shipping manifest. The writing states delivery completed for one item received by Erin Atwiller, dated in the year 810 AS, so about 6 years ago. Stamped on the header is Zephyr Shipping Co. And underneath that, an address in Freeports, which is a city on the eastern side of Nemos. It stands as the largest city in the borders between Nemos, the Beneri Union, and the Astari enclaves. There's no details on what the item was, and the rest of the paper is burnt away. But
I'll sort of like relay that to everyone. With my dexterous fingers and my way of dealing with everything, is there a way that I can sort of like keep it safe, like roll it up in something so it doesn't just disintegrate?
could you make another sleight of hand check?
Here's my... Oh, it went through the door.
Oh, the door.
11.
An 11. You begin to curl it up, and it starts to. So you're like, no. You will need to hold it like that.
Hold it.
As I see him doing this, I'm going to come over and pull out my notebook and jot it down.
That's a good idea.
The drawer.
Do I think I can activate these runes?
The magic is long faded.
Okay.
Well, I say long faded. There's a tinge of it in the air. Might have faded a couple of hours ago.
Okay, I try and remove the drawer nonetheless.
Could you make a sleight of hand check, please?
Be careful.
20.
Oh, so slight.
You feel around the bottom of the drawer, running your fingers along the edge of these runes, and then the hidden panel slides away. And underneath is a large book, several hundred pages long, bound in a worn purple velvet. There's a clasp on the front. The title is stitched on it in white thread. Explorations of the Void, a treatise on the untapped potential found between the planes, by Christian von Tonborg. Could you make a history check for me, please?
Points Garnet book.
Yeah. Oh. 6.
You don't
Can
recognise the
I
name.
look over his shoulder at the book and see if I recognise it?
Yeah.
Yeah, between the two of you, yeah.
14.
You don't recognise the name.
When you say class, does that mean the book is locked?
It's almost like magnetic. It just
Okay.
pops open. If you want to open it.
I'll open the book.
On the front page, there's an opening blurb. Have no fear is a common adage of the void. Do not believe this lie, as you should indeed fear the void. But it is worth noting that fear is a natural reaction to danger. But I posit this to you, dear reader. Magic is dangerous, but we harness it to perform incredible feats. Fire is feared, yet it warms our homes, cooks our meals, and walls away the darkness. So, too, the void can be harnessed. Fear is a natural response, our mind and soul telling us to be wary and to respect its power. But by overcoming fear, can we understand it, what causes our revulsion of it, and thus we can begin to truly suppress it, wield it. Strength of body and soul is needed, of course, but that is the case of all things. The book then delves into extremely detailed information on the void, encounters with it on the material plane, as well as how it can cling to items and in rare cases even people, though the latter is extremely rare and not fully understood. There are a full 4 sections of the book dedicated to what he refers to as void-marked items. Description matching the mirror is in there, though there is no mention of possession or any of the other phenomena that you have encountered. There are a few scant recordings of the void being harnessed completely, being littered throughout the history, but these instances are times usually associated with great change in Valtor. One section does catch your eye, where the writer suggests that much of the Cathedral's power and influence came from controlling the void. The book itself will take a long amount of time to go through in detail, but this is what you gather from a casual glance.
Dorian puts it in his pack.
Okay.
Stop hoarding all the books.
It's Dorian's thing.
The writings of a madman.
And we'll end it there.
Oh, hello.
On discovery of a book talking about the void that you have decided to pick up. Starts typing danger.
Should have shot the book.
You still have some things to do potentially in the manor house, as well as maybe some things to do in town before you meet up with Denton in the morning and go dragon hunting? Question mark? We'll find out in the next episode of A Cast of Players. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to our intrepid heroes and or wheeler dealers trying to dispose of someone for the guard.
I didn't say I was going to dispose of him. I was going to persuade him to not talk to them again.
We'll see about that. Until next time, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next chapter.